Hello, namaskar, sat sri akal, adab, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all my viewers all over the world. It is once again your friend. You can call me a critic, you can call me Mr. Controversy, whatever you want. Dhruva is back. Dhruva is back in style. Dhruva is back with a bang. Simple things. I've come back with some definite streamlined plans, some beautiful concepts to be spoken और कुछ ऐसी चीजों के बारे में हम definitely बात करेंगे which will do a world of good for humanity and which will do a world of good for so many other things which are happening from eternity. अभी आज के शो का जो गेस्ट है उनको मैं डेफिनेटली 5 मिनट के अंदर लूंगा. But before I take my guest of the show today, let me add to the stream my co-host, my friend, my guide, my sister, whatever you can call it, Priyanka Sharma ji, who has been one of the greatest supports, literally can say my backbone in this moment. And she is one of the biggest reasons I'm back today with a smile on my face, with that confidence that whatever is going to happen, I definitely have one, two, three, four, five. Even if I count on the tips of my finger, I don't care because on our show, we don't want followers. We don't want all this fake publicity and anything. We just want to bring out the facts and we want to keep it. A quick introduction about today's guest is Mr. Sanjay Patnaik, one person who's a common man with a lot of common sense. Without wasting much of your time, let me get on stage the man himself, the one and only Sanjay Patnaik ji.
Hey,
Hello, sir.
namaskar. Namaskar. Good evening. Good evening, Priyanka ji. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm so happy to see you, Sanjat sir. I'm so happy. ध्रुवा मेरे आंखों से आंसू आ रहे हैं. तू मेरे
Thank you.
तारीफ मत किया कर ज्यादा.
आप वीडियो ऑफ
I'm
करो
so
और आंखों को
happy.
टिश्यू लेके पहुंचो वरना सब सोचेंगे कि मीराबाई आ गई. Okay,
I'm so
Sanjay
happy
sir.
to see you. I'm really happy and I'm so excited. And thank you so much, Sanjat sir. Up to you and to Dhruva.
Thank you,
Okay,
Priyanka ji and Dhruva ji. Thank you too also.
so Sanjay sir, basically the streamlined agenda for this program is very simple. A lot of us see different types of ads coming up. A lot of us see different types of marketing strategies coming up. A lot of us see different types of things happening. See, सिंपल इस शो की शुरुआत में कुछ इस तरह से आज शुरू करना चाहता हूं कि परमबीर सिंह हो, सचिन वाजे हो, ये लोग अरेस्ट एक जमाने के पहले हुए थे. 2 months, 3 months, whatsoever it is. Why is it now that when UP elections are round the corner, they are coming out with names? What is the agenda do they want to spread? This is going to be the theme of the program. We are not going to make it political, but certain things which happens, which is called as reverse psychology or mind manipulation. Is this Sachin Waze incident coming out now not a stand-in example of how everybody plays with everyone's minds? Your comment, sir.
Yes, completely agree. See, as you know, normally I don't talk about Indian politics, and there are two or three topics which I don't touch upon. One is Bollywood, the other one is Indian politics, and uh, and the other one is the disease which is going on and the treatment that they are doing. So I don't talk on these three topics. Even if we take this apart, I completely agree with you, Dhruvaji, that there are mind manipulations which go on in various forms. नॉट ओनली इन दिस केस. नेचुरल हम लोग देखते हैं जब भी इलेक्शन आता है उससे पहले कुछ ना कुछ होता है. देयर आर सम रेड्स कंडक्टेड समवेयर, some political party attacking some other political party, matters which are there for hidden for or dormant for last 3 4 5 years, suddenly they crop up, and once those elections are over they vanish, right? So essentially we are made fools by these people through use of political leaders, these movie actors or the influencers, and the media companies. All the media companies are puppets of these people. So we'll discuss about those things also. That would be my opening comment, Dhruvaji.
नहीं सर, बिकॉज बेसिकली द रीजन मैंने आपको कुछ क्वेश्चन इस तरह से पूछा, मैं प्रियंका जी का भी राय लूंगा, बिकॉज शी इज वन इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिविजुअल हु हैज देयर ब्रेन। सी व्हाट हैपेंस इज, जब भी कोई भी फंक्शन होता है या कोई भी अगर प्रोडक्ट मान लो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ समवन हैज टू मेक अ लॉन्च ऑन सम न्यू थिंग विद गोल्ड, अक्षय तृतीय को वेट करते हैं, फर्स्ट पेज बताता है कि गोल्ड प्राइसेस हैव स्लैश्ड फॉर 60 or 70%, and on the third page, which is the business page, Akshay Tritiya offer 15% off on all gold jewelry. My basic question here was, everything has become a marketing subject. Let's not look at Indian politics as a subject of politics. Let's understand the marketing strategy behind it. I am a neutral person. I don't entertain politics, or I am not even the be bothered about politics. ये क्वेश्चन मैंने सिर्फ इसलिए उठाया कि अगर इस देश में सुशांत सिंह राजपूत जैसे लोग हो, जिया खान जैसे लोग हो, हमारी श्रीदेवी जैसे लोग हो, दिव्या भारती जैसे लोग हो, उनको 364 डेज भूल दिया जाता है, पर जिस दिन वो क्या बोलते हैं इलेक्शन का रिजल्ट आने का टाइम होता है ना, तभी ये लोग ना जाने कहां से प्रत्यक्ष हो जाते हैं।
They completely agree. They are using it. जैसे आप बोले कि अक्षय तृतीया हो या दिवाली हो या कोई भी फेस्टिवल हो, these companies, these private companies, if they are associated with these kind of festivals, they should go and celebrate these festivals, and they should give things for free. They don't do that. What do? They use the name of Diwali, they use the name of Akshay Tritiya, for that matter, for some other festival, to actually get mind share of people. Because during Diwali times or New Year times, some other times, people think about these things. They associate these things are associated with happiness and spending on products. So these companies actually use that theme to take the money out of the hands of the common man, right? So there's a thing called as a desire and need. So they play on desire, which is a long which has a long research history of marketing and selling things. Similarly, for elections or selling of any other good, and that's why we were talking about. We'll talk about mind control and how it is done. What are the olden examples? How they started that. So, if you like, I would like Priyanka Sharma ji also to come in and start off.
Yes, sir. That's definitely has always been a point क्योंकि you know ये जो points है ना उस पे हमारा ध्यान कभी जाता नहीं है. We don't give attention to all these things. We think that it's an offer, but it is not actually an offer. जैसे वो गेम खेलते हैं ना सर, especially if you go to these online shoppings, uh, everything in 999, though it's 1000, but it gives an impression कि अरे ये तो 900 रुपए में ही आ गया, but वो 1000 में एक ही रुपया कम है. बट वो माइंड में आपको कॉन्शियस सबकॉन्शियसली ये बिठा दिया जाता है कि अरे ये तो 1000 से कम है, हालांकि 1000 से एक ही रुपया कम है. सो ये गेम्स उसी तरीके से है. बट या डेफिनेटली, और ऐसे ही नहीं है. अब जैसे कि हम ऑनलाइन वेबसाइट्स पर आप देखिए, आजकल मैं ये चीज बहुत ज्यादा नोटिस कर रही हूँ. हर चीज पर 50% डिस्काउंट, 60%, 70% डिस्काउंट, 80%. तो आई वॉज थिंकिंग कि ये कमाते क्या है अगर ये 80% डिस्काउंट दे देते हैं तो. सो इट्स अ मैटर ऑफ, एंड देन यू नो व्हाट दे डू, ये उस चीज का रेट डबल कर देते हैं, और डबल करके देन दे शो कि अरे आपको हमने 50% डिस्काउंट दे दिया, 70%. वो जूते का रेट बताएंगे 5000, फिर बोलेंगे 80% डिस्काउंट पे आपको मिल रहा है 2000 में.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Yes, yeah, completely agree.
Yes. So it is that way, and now it's these kind, ये जो ट्रेंड ज्यादा जो खराब किया है ना सर, ये ऑनलाइन वालों ने ही खराब किया है.
नहीं, अमेज़न पे जाके ना आप.
हाँ.
Okay, Sanjat ji, just a minute. Priyanka ji, I'll give you one very funny incident. Okay, recently मैं Amazon पे I wanted to order a jacket because it is this winter session. मैं Amazon पे जाके लॉगिन करता हूँ and I see coconut shell. हम हिंदू हो, हम हिंदुस्तानी लोग जिस कोकोनट को डेली यूज करते हैं, वो कोकोनट शेल को 1900 रुपीज में अमेज़न पे बेच रहे हैं.
राइट.
अरे हिंदुस्तानी किसान रातों रात अरबपति हो जाएगा.
Yes, yes. Yes.
Organic bowl for food, the name given. It is nothing but a coconut shell. This is all marketing strategies. This is all playing with the mind.
Yes. Agree.
Sanjay ji happens to be a master of this subject because this started during World War II. The first
Completely
person,
agree. Yes. Yes.
the first person to introduce mind manipulations was none other than Benito Mussolini. Adolf Hitler copied it from him, and that's how World War II started. Sanjay sir, your comments, please.
Yes, yes, agreed. See, all this goes back to that period. Specifically, अगर आप बात करें तो वो पीरियड में वर्ल्ड वॉर टू के पीरियड है, उससे पहले एक्चुअली ये मैनिपुलेशन और प्रोपेगेंडा थ्योरी जो है, दे वर्कड एक्सटेंसिवली ऑन दैट थिंग कि क्या चीज है जो साइकोलॉजिकली वो लोग ट्यून कर सकते हैं. सी पहले क्या था, उससे पहले तब तक उससे पहले तक क्या था कि देवर रॉयल फैमिलीज एवरीवेयर. ठीक है, हर जगह यूरोप में स्पेसिफिकली वी टॉक अबाउट यूरोप बिकॉज वर्ल्ड इज यूजुअली गवर्न बाय पॉलिसीज व्हिच इज ड्रिवन फ्रॉम यूरोप ओनली एवरीवेयर. So what has happened is Europe में when people started revolting around against royalties, आपका फ्रांस में रिवोल्ट हुआ, there are other many reasons. So उसके बाद they saw that जो royal families है elites से they were losing power, right? So they got into thought कि भैया हमको करना क्या है, what do we have to do, where actually we keep the power, but we have to psychologically say to them that we don't have power, you have the power. So we'll give them the power, the perception of power, and we have to play with their psychology. So because हम लोग जबरदस्ती कुछ करा नहीं सकते हैं उनके ऊपर, so let us do something that they only themselves will say कि आप ऐसा करो करके. So what is the way out? So that is how they went into research. और आपका ब्रेन माइंड पे बहुत रिसर्च हुआ है. They have invested a lot of money into that. There are separate organizations who do that, and till now it is done. And that is how आपका psychological manipulation या mind control started off professionally in a large scale, that is a large scale manner, mass scale manner. So अगर आप बात करेंगे तो स्टार्टिंग वहीं से हुआ था, प्रोपोगेंडा, और लोगों को जो चीज खराब है उसको भी लोगों को अच्छा लगेगा. आई विल गिव यू अ स्मॉल एग्जांपल, राइट? During these 50s and 60s, smoking by women was considered to be a socially taboo topic. वो एक टैबू टॉपिक होता था. जो औरतें हैं या जो फिर लेडीज हैं, दे शुड नॉट स्मोक. दैट वाज सोशली नॉट एक्सेप्टेबल ऑल अक्रॉस यूरोप, ऑल अक्रॉस द वर्ल्ड. नाउ दीज गाइज, दिस टोबैको ओनर्स कंपनी, सिगरेट कंपनी वाले इनके पास आए, साइकेट्रिस्ट के पास. सिगमंड फ्रॉइड का नाम सुना होगा, उसका एक नेफ्यू था, ही वाज वेरी फेमस. तो उससे पूछे कि वी आर लूजिंग 50% ऑफ आवर मार्केट शेयर बिकॉज वुमेन आर नॉट स्मोकिंग. तो कैसे करें, ये सोशली कोई एक्सेप्ट करेगा नहीं. सो ही केम आउट विद आइडिया. तो उनका कुछ अपना जैसे इंडिपेंडेंस डे या जनवरी 26 का जैसे होता है फंक्शन, तो उनका एक पैरेड होता है. तो ये क्या किए कंपनी वाले, कुछ 10 12 15 लड़की लोगों को लेके गए वहां पर, पैरेड करवाए. और आइडिया ये था कि वो बीच में खड़े होंगे, सब कुछ अपना कोट वोट उतार के, देन दे विल लाइट अप अ सिगरेट, एक सिगरेट जलाएंगे और बोलेंगे दिस इज टॉर्च फॉर फ्रीडम. तो दे स्टार्टेड दैट. तो नेक्स्ट डे न्यूज़पेपर में आ गया कि भैया सम लेडीज आर फाइटिंग अगेंस्ट पैट्रियार्की बाय लाइटिंग अप सिगरेट, and cigarette is considered to be a torch of freedom, that is gender neutrality and all those good value association had been associated with lighting a cigarette by a lady. उसके बाद क्या हुआ कि आपके जितने टाउन्स में, गांव में जो रेगुलर लेडीज लोग हैं, they also started smoking and it was considered something good, that they are doing something good for the society, right? So this is a typical example of mind control. Typical example of mind control. Smoking, everyone know that it is bad for your health, number one, and it was not considered good for ladies to smoke, and they have made it reversed it, saying that as lady smoking is actually good for the society. So that is how they have mind controlled it.
Sanjay ji, you touched a very sensitive topic because I will not preach anything on this because I myself, I don't have any shame to tell that I'm a chain smoker. But the only person, this was in the year 1949, 1950, not 1950, 1954. The Prime Minister of India, Shri, क्या नाम था यार उनका, भूल गया मैं, लाल बहादुर शास्त्री जी. He was the first person to tell, Yatra Nareshu Pujante Ramante Tatra Devata. Why do you want to fall for marketing strategies? You yourself are motherly figures for us. In Sanskrit itself, we have beautifully written कि जहां नारी की पूजा होती है वहां भगवान का वास होता है. टॉर्च बेयरिंग फॉर फ्रीडम इज नॉट द कंसर्न. हम आपको अगरबत्ती जलाते हैं, इससे आगे जाके सिगरेट पीना है जाके पियो. He was the only man amongst men who had the capacity, the backbone, and the spine to stand against this cabal and speak on it. And if my theory is not wrong, if my calculations are not wrong, Tashkent happened only because Lal Bahadur Shastri was the last standing hurdle for these people. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Agree, completely agree. See, I also don't judge people if they smoke, don't smoke, they drink, don't drink. That is their personal choice. The point that I was driving at was something which was considered as bad was overturned by a intervention, that is conscious intervention by the corporate or companies who sell this product. So they do that. जैसे प्रियंका जब भी बोल रही थी 50% और डिस्काउंट का, you will notice all these things 50% 60% discount things come up on luxury items, right? Back of the mind क्या होता है कि when you go to purchase a furniture, you go to any furniture shop, any furniture showroom, you pass on, आप ऑफिस जा रहे होंगे या फिर वापस रास्ते में देख रहे होंगे, all these furniture shops, the luxury items are always have sign-ups of 50% discount. You know why? Because spending on luxury item is somewhere some guilt conscience is always there कि मैं पैसा क्यों इसमें इतना खर्चा करूं. So for that guilt to go, what they do is we are offering 50% or 60% discount. You purchase this furniture or this luxury product. You see, they always diamond पे हमेशा हमेशा off रहेगा. If you see FM radio, you see TV, you go in front of any jewelry, there will be always be some kind of discount going on diamonds. The reason is simple, because these are luxury items, and psychologically, regular human being actually finds it guilty, so that he would go and spend something on luxury. To apna Indian culture is like that. So they give discount so that you overcome that guilt and come, can at least I'm getting a good deal. I'm not fully guilty. I'm 50% guilty only. That is how they manipulate it.
No,
Dhruva?
sir, but basically, when they talk about this 50% discount, what is the game that gets played over here is either this product of which they are giving 50% discount happens to be something which is 4 5 years old, which is out of stock, or it happens to be something where the price is exactly 4 times. Now, for
Yes,
example,
yes,
a
that's true.
normal Adidas socks, if I purchase it at a local vendor, I'll get it for 60 or 70 rupees. But on Amazon, they'll show it as 600 rupees socks for 100 rupees.
Agreed. वही होता है. They mark up the prices, they notch up the prices, and they give a discount to give you a good feeling. But actually, no one would sell for loss, right? No company would sell for loss. That is a given fact. So they are cheat. This is a kind of a roundabout way of cheating. It's not a cheating actually. So it is a roundabout way of cheating.
Marketing strategies, according to me, are roundabout ways of cheating because basically 90% of the banking scams that are happening, 90% of the money that is getting robbed from customers' accounts is happening because of all these giveaways. Amazon annual giveaway, Tata company annual giveaway, etc., etc. But when we contact the actual company, they would not be even knowing about what this giveaway is all about. It is nothing but a malware that is attached in your program and sent to your phone. You download on that malware, they'll give you a list of options. You have to just select. They'll ask you to pay only 1 rupee. The innocent person who's paying thinks he's only paying 1 rupee and makes that payment. But indirectly is giving a CVV number, his bank credit card or debit card detail, and also the expiry date on his card. What more does a scammer want?
Yes. Priyanka ji, कुछ बोले ना. You were quiet for a long time, quite long time. Hey, Vijay has joined. Welcome, Vijay.
Yes, I was actually there are few questions जो कुछ लोगों ने मुझे नोट करवाया है, so I was thinking कि कुछ questions भी हमको ले लेना चाहिए. सो सर, मेरा पहला क्वेश्चन ये है कि एक किसी पर्सन ने पूछा है ये क्वेश्चन कि जो हमारा वेजिटेबल इंडस्ट्री है ना, वेजिटेबल एंड फ्रूट्स इंडस्ट्री, उसमें भी आप आज के टाइम में देखेंगे कि आपको जो वेस्टर्न फ्रूट्स है उनको ज्यादा पॉपुलर किया जा रहा है. अगर आप डॉक्टर के पास जाओगे ना तो वो आपको इंडियन हर्ब्स नहीं बताएगा खाने के लिए. वो क्या बोलेगा, आप ड्रैगन फ्रूट खाओ, आप कीवी खाओ, तो आपको ज्यादा फायदा होगा. राइट. एंड आप अगर और भी चेरी खाओ, स्ट्रॉबेरी खाओ, तो आपको ज्यादा फायदा होगा। तो आई वॉज सो शॉक्ड कि इनको मतलब डॉक्टर्स को क्या हो गया है, इनको हमारी हर्बल, हमको जड़ी बूटी नहीं दिखती है इनको बीमारी दूर करने के लिए, इनको स्ट्रॉबेरी और ड्रैगन फ्रूट याद आता है।
उसका एक रीजन है। उसका रीजन क्या है कि देखिए, ह्यूमन साइकोलॉजी में जो डॉक्टर अच्छा होता है ना, लोग उसके पास जाते भी नहीं है। ये बात भी है। सो आई हैव सीन दैट साइड आल्सो। इफ अ डॉक्टर इज ऑनेस्ट डॉक्टर, ही सेज कि नहीं यार, आपको दवाई की जरूरत नहीं है, आप घर जाओ, आप बस गार्गल करो और आप सेक ले लो और ये जो है जड़ी बूटी कुछ खा लो, आप ठीक हो जाओगे, घर का जो इलाज है। तो फिर पेशेंट क्या करेगा, अरे यार ये क्या डॉक्टर है यार, 100 रुपए का 200 रुपए का फीस लिया, इसके पास आया, ये तो वैसे ही भेज दिया, ये कुछ अच्छा नहीं है। एंड और वही पेशेंट दूसरे डॉक्टर के पास जाएगा और डॉक्टर, अरे तुम यार इतने लेट कैसे कर दिए, और 2 दिन होते तुम मर जाते यार, तुमको मरते मरते इधर पहुंचो, रुको रुको, पहले तुमको एक इंजेक्शन लगाता हूँ। वो कुछ इंजेक्शन लगाएगा, पता नहीं क्या होगा, ठीक है, उसके बाद कुछ एंटीबायोटिक दे देगा, तो वो पेशेंट भी खुश। फिर बोलेगा सुबह क्या खाना खाए थे, वो बोलेगा भाई साहब मैं तो पोहा खा, अरे पोहा कैसे खा लिए यार, तुम्हारा बीमारी है, पोहा छोड़ो। फिर पोहा छोड़ के तुम जो है रोटी खाओ। तो पीपल एक्चुअली लाइक दैट। दैट इज हाउ साइकोलॉजी वर्क्स। दिस डॉक्टर्स आर आल्सो वेरी इंटेलिजेंट। तो वो लोग वही यूज करते हैं। स्ट्रॉबेरी साउंड्स एक्सोटिक, ड्रैगन फ्रूट साउंड्स एक्सोटिक। So I think that's how they're using that to answer that question. So welcome. I think Vijay has joined. Welcome Vijay. I think Mitra has joined. Welcome Mitra. I'm welcoming
Sir,
both of
namaste,
them.
sir.
Jai Hind ji. Namaste.
Jai Jagannath, sir.
Jai Jagannath.
Hello, hello,
नमस्ते
Priyanka. Hello, Dhruji.
हाय हाय, हेलो
Hello,
हेलो।
Mitra ji. Hello, Vijay ji. Priyanka ji was on with the questions. So just listening to the wise speak. So anyways,
नम,
Vijay ji and Mitra ji, आज मेरे प्लेटफॉर्म के क्या बोलते हैं? It is like a dream come true for me that two intellectual people are online.
नमस्ते ध्रुव जी, नमस्ते प्रियंका जी,
I also,
संजय
I
सर
also agree.
नमस्ते।
It's not actually, it's not namaste, namaste. I actually agree. It's not two. It is four intellectual people. That is one intellectual, Priyanka ji. Second is Vijay intellectual. Third is Dhruva intellectual. Fourth is Mitra intellectual. So four
सर
intellectual people are with me.
trust me,
So I'm
trust
very
me.
lucky.
I mean, like, yeah, this is nothing. We are really happy to be on the show. Honestly, nothing intellectual. It's we are always like on the listening side of the show, you know. Even though we are in the show में है, लेकिन फिर भी अभी भी बैठ के सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं हम. That's the only thing what we are good in doing, and we are happy to do that one. But yes, it's a great show, sir. What you are doing again about about the mind manipulation, as you said. I'm not sure if Sanjay sir has touched the topic of group conformity, because that's one thing you have always talked, sir, and that's also kind of a manipulating the mind. So please, I'm pretty sure Sanjay sir will talk about that also. And ये जो आपने जो डॉक्टर्स और न्यूट्रिशंस की बात की थी, उसमें एक मुझे एक छोटा सा एक्चुअली पिछले 2 weeks बैक आई सॉ एन एपिसोड आल्सो इन अ शो, जहाँ पे वो लोग बात करते हैं कि द ऑर्गेनिक फूड, द हेल्थी फूड, एंड व्हाट द न्यूट्रिशंस राइट टू द पीपल वेयर पीपल कम टू देम। तो अभी अभी जो संजय सर ने कहा, दैट्स द माइंडसेट ऑफ द पीपल। अगर आप एक न्यूट्रिशंस के पास जाते हैं, अगर और वो आपको साधारण सा जो नॉर्मल में घर घर पे जो खाने वाला जो खाते हैं, अगर वो खाना लिख दें, जैसे तुम 2 इडली खाओ, फिर बाद में डोसा खाओ और ये सब्जी खाना, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, तो दे डोंट फील लाइक दे हैव बीन टू अ डॉक्टर, और दे डोंट फील दैट दे हैव बीन टू अ स्पेशलिस्ट until and unless अगर वो स्पेशलिस्ट लिखे कि यू हैव टू गो एंड ईट सम ओट्स, और ये आपने जो कहा स्ट्रॉबेरी के साथ मॉर्निंग आके 2 ओट्स खाना, आई मीन लाइक टेक सम ओट्स एंड देन सम फैंसी, एज लॉन्ग एज द माइंड, अगर आप देखो नहीं कुछ फैंसी फ्रूट्स या फूड उन्होंने प्रिस्क्रिप्शन लिखा है, तो उन्हें लगता नहीं है, और जैसे कहा एक 500 600 या 1000 का बिल नहीं दिया, तो दे आर नॉट सेटिस्फाइड. दैट्स हाउ द
Also,
माइंड इज वर्किंग.
Vijay ji, you should tell about that coffee, green tea and that incident. I mean, that information. They said
Yeah,
that black coffee. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, like, again, it was like about the nutrition and this keto diet, you know, the all the new diets and everything which is in the market. So they are just asking the people, okay, you are eating this food, right? And this guy was saying, yeah, this is a gluten free and lactose free food. And so that question was, you know, what is a gluten free? I say, I don't know, it just sounds nice, so that's why I'm eating it. There are some people who are like that, in I mean, like, just going towards कुछ पता है या नहीं पता है, but still they want to do it just because everyone is doing it. That's again how they are changing the whole kind of group of people. Advertisements, they are changing everything. So yes, that's what I just want to tell when Dhruji, when Sanjay sir was talking about the doctor and nutrition, and you brought also that topic about that one, Priyanka ji.
Yeah, even if you go in market, you will see lot and lot of new fruits coming in, which we, common man, even they haven't heard of those names. ड्रैगन फ्रूट, एंड दे आर सो एक्सपेंसिव. जो अभी बेचारा गरीब ठेला चलाने वाला है, वो दवाई भी डॉक्टर के पास ले ले जाकर, वो ही बहुत बड़ी बात होती है. आप उसको स्ट्रॉबेरी खाने को बोलते हो, आप उसको कीवी खाने को बोलते हो, बेचारे ने आम भी नहीं देखा होगा अपने जिंदगी में कभी ढंग से, आप उसको स्ट्रॉबेरी खाने को बोल देते हो. वाई डोंट दे टॉक अबाउट हर्ब्स? दे डोंट टॉक अबाउट हर्ब्स, जो हमारे यहाँ का, जिसके लिए अमेरिका भी मरता है. दे वांट पेटेंट ऑन ऑल आवर हर्ब्स. वो हल्दी पे पेटेंट चाहता है, वो नीम पे पेटेंट चाहता है. तो क्या, व्हाई यूएस इज सो क्रेजी टू गेट पेटेंट ऑन ऑल दीज सिंपल थिंग्स, जो कि हमारे हर हाउस होल्ड का पार्ट है. हल्दी हम हर सब्जी में डालते हैं, लेकिन यूएस को उस पे पेटेंट क्यों चाहिए?
Exactly.
सो यस, सो
नहीं नहीं, बोलिए.
दे वांट ऑल गुड थिंग्स फ्रॉम अस, और वो कचरा जो वो बनाते हैं ना वहां पर, वो हमारे यहाँ पे सप्लाई करना चाहते हैं.
With
नो,
a high
अभी मैं
price. With a high
विथ,
price.
या, दे हैव मेड कैंसर अ बिग 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 थिंग. कैंसर, आप छोटा भी कोई चीज हो जाएगा, वो कैंसर नहीं भी होगा तो आप डॉक्टर क्या बोलेगा, अरे इसको अभी ठीक करा लो, नहीं तो ये कैंसर का फॉर्म ले लेगा, और आपको वो कैंसर के फर्स्ट स्टेज की दवाई लिख कर दे देते हैं.
Oh my God.
I'll tell you. So the thing is, the first thing is, आपका fruits जो है ना, these fruits are like, there are two topics, two and three topics actually you talked about. One is this new kinds of fruits which are coming into Indian market, which is promoted by many doctors and many others, which poor people may not be in a position to afford, but doctors somehow they prescribe as a part of a diet. Number one. Number two is your cancer, which you talked about. And third thing you talked about is a patent, which in IPR, intellectual property rights, right? So let's go to fruit one, then I will come to IPR, because IPR is a very interesting topic, right? IPR ka root jo hai, that goes very long back. I'll tell you why it is like that, why the system has made like that. Dhruv ji, is the format okay, or please interrupt me in case I'm going talking more than my share. So please do that, because when I start talking, I keep on talking, right? Priyanka ji,
Sir,
please.
it's okay,
Go
okay.
ahead.
You are going
I'm
great.
listening.
Do you really think, Sanjat sir, Dhruv will say, "Stop it, Sanjat, you are going out of the line"?
Yeah, no, please do
No,
that.
no,
In
no,
case
you
I'm,
are
No,
going,
no, no, no.
you are going awesome. I'm just spellbound and I'm listening. I'm just
okay,
silently
great,
listening.
great. So coming to
Because,
this,
because the great Dalai Lama once said, when you speak, you only repeat things that you know. But when you listen to the wise speak, you get to learn a vast
yes,
things that you have never known. So when
hun-
some people like you, and there is one more thing, sir, before even you take over and say you're a common person, the vessel which is always full never makes any noise. It is the empty vessel which makes the most noise. And some extraordinary empty vessels like me, we make the right noise.
that was a good one. That was a good one. Yeah, great. So coming to these fruits, is what has happened is for last 10 years or 15 years, the big corporations have gone into genetically modified food. Now, if people are aware of this thing, GM, genetically modified food, is part of a larger plan, right? So big corporations going for genetically modified food in the name of higher productivity, they have pushed pushed research and production of genetically modified food into the common masses. Now, what has happened is, these are big corporations. They are aligned with big pharma lobbies also, right? So the same company which manufactures genetically modified seeds, researchers and manufacturers, they are into pharma production also. So they have their financial interest in both these things. Number one. Number two, why this genetically modified food is being pushed into masses? Because it is considered that the natural fruit or food is far better for human beings for consumption than genetically modified foods. Genetically modified foods actually create diseases later on, right? Like the disease that you were talking about, cancer, as people call it. So that is something which is known to have been caused by many kinds of foods, and especially genetically modified foods which people are claiming. So they have certain interest behind pushing those food. And all this, see, you know which one is the highest genetically modified food in this entire world? Fruits. The orange we see, the orange that we consume these days, or the banana for that sense. I was seeing some Twitter post or something, I think today or yesterday, it was right. You don't see flies and all those people roving over these fruits these days. Earlier, अगर आप लोग को बचपन की याद होगी तो जितने ठेले वाले होगा, जो भी होगा फ्रूट वाला, मक्खियां सब घूम बिनबिन आती थी उसके ऊपर, ठीक है. They used to go around that. It was, माने अगर आप केला है तो केला के पास मक्खियां रहेंगी. But nowadays if you go and see these shops, वहां पर मक्खियां, अरे यार ये मक्खियां भी उसको रिजेक्ट कर रही है. They are also not going there. They can sense there's something wrong with that food. They are also not going there. So we should also be very, very careful with what food we are consuming, and that is why I think these doctors and others are pushing it. And these are all genetically modified food. And if you use imported fruits, imported citrus hai, apple hai, dragon fruit has actually come from outside and harvested here. इंडिया में अब कुछ ही सालों में स्टार्ट हुआ है. दैट्स व्हाई इट इज गेटिंग पुश. इट हैज कम फ्रॉम आउटसाइड ओनली, लाइक मेनी अदर थिंग्स. So that is one part. Coming to second part, the intellectual property rights or patent. हम लोगों का स्पेशली जो भारत है, हम लोग 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 सालों से जितने भी अपना ज्ञान था ना, वी नेवर पेटेंटेड इट कि भैया अगर आप लेके जाओगे तो यू हैव टू पे मी मनी. Patent is what? Patent is some saying that I have invented or discovered this process or this product. So anyone who is using it commercially or using it has to pay me some royalty. That is what patent is all about, right? तो वो लोग क्या किए, हम लोग कभी नहीं किए. हम लोग इतना ज्ञान बांटे हैं, इतना आविष्कार किए हैं, इतना कुछ इन्वेंशन किए हैं, लेकिन हम लोग कभी पेटेंट नहीं किए कि भैया आप सीख के गए तो यू हैव टू गिव मी मनी. वी नेवर डन दैट. सो वी नेवर बिलीव्ड इन दैट थिंग. वुड यू बिलीव व्हाट इज द हाईएस्ट फॉरेन एक्सचेंज अर्नर फॉर यूनाइटेड किंगडम? क्या होगा? क्या चीज का एक्सपोर्ट का होगा? यूनाइटेड किंगडम का हाईएस्ट फॉरेन एक्सचेंज अर्नर इज थ्रू इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स, थ्रू दिस पेटेंट्स. वो पेटेंट करते हैं और उसी का पैसा उनका हाईएस्ट फॉरेन एक्सचेंज अर्नर है यूके का. यूके डजंट प्रोड्यूस एनीथिंग एज सच ऑफ वैल्यू एज देयर इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स ऑफ पेटेंट इज. सो ह्यूज मनीज आर इन्वॉल्व्ड, एंड दैट इज व्हाई यूएस आल्सो हैज गॉन दैट वे. दैट इज व्हाई यूएस का भी वही है कि भैया अपना जो है पेटेंट, दैट इज व्हाई दे आर सो मैड अबाउट पेटेंट कि वी विल पेटेंट एवरीथिंग. So patent is a cabal creation. If you ask me, only big corporations have access to that. Other जो inventors है, छोटे मोटे inventors है, they are sidelined. So that is also a money making and control proportion for them. That is why ये patent का धंधा जो है उनका चलता है. इंडिया का generic drugs, pharmacy में we are famous in generic drugs. It is banned in many countries due to this thing only. They are saying that we are copying their chemical formulations and making the generic drugs which are very cheaper. That is why it is banned. So financial interest बहुत सारा है. So that answers that point. And third, coming to जो disease known as cancer, और उसके लिए जो आप जैसे बोले कि अगर आप कोई किसी को डरा देगा कि भैया अगर तो ये नहीं करेगा, दवाई नहीं खाएगा तो मर जाएगा, तो बेचारा खा ही लेगा. And people trust doctors traditionally, so they do that. So that also, I also feel there is a tyranny going on and working against common men.
I agree, sir. I completely agree with you, because what happens is most of the times, see, the one thing, like you see anybody for that matter, the priest or anybody, once upon a time, back then in those days, the priest, he was the biggest, what do you say, Daridram. Daridram means he was very poor and he did not have any capacity to do anything. That was why a lot of practices came, which people misunderstood. We will not talk about it on today's show. But today, if you go to any temple, the first thing the priest will say is one Bala Ganapati Homa has to be done. One Mrityunjaya Homa has to be done. One, what do you say, Satyanarayan Puja has to be done. That is just installing fear in your mind, because the first lesson of marketing is either convince someone or confuse him. If both doesn't work out, then scare him. Your job is done.
नहीं, उसमें मेरा एक है, क्या है कि there are many priests who are good, right? There are many priests. अगर आप देखोगे, अगर आप पूजा है, होमम है, जो भी है, usually people don't force. They say कि करना है, नहीं करना है, that is upon their choice. ठीक है. लेकिन डॉक्टर के पास दिस इज समथिंग डिफरेंट. डॉक्टर के पास पीपल डोंट हैव अ चॉइस. देयर इज अ मेडिकल कंडीशन और सम इशू इज देयर, दैट्स व्हाई इज गोइंग टू द डॉक्टर. हम लोग मंदिर जाते हैं, वी डोंट गो आउट ऑफ फियर. सी, आई विल टेल यू व्हाई इट इज नॉट फियर. इट इज जस्ट लाइक गोइंग टू मैरिज ऑफ रिलेटिव. अगर आपको रिलेटिव के मैरिज में कोई बुलाया है, यू डोंट गो देयर आउट ऑफ फियर कि मैं नहीं जाऊंगा तो वो गुस्सा हो जाएंगे. व्हाई डू यू गो देयर? You go there because you consider that he is a family member. I should be present at this stage, at this festival of marriage. So that is how we go to temple for ourselves. Now there are good priests. The problem is that, see, we are very very cool, and we say when we talk about priest, that is a Hindu pandit या मंदिर के बारे में बात करते हैं, तो we are very cool and we are very free of talking about that. But we don't do that with any other kind of system. Why don't we do that? Because ये भी जो है, see, all these Bollywood movies have actually painted them as a villain, if you ask me. That is why we are saying वो लोग villain है, we can tell anything about them and get away, whereas we think twice before talking anything about similar priests from other systems, right? So I don't think it is fair. I don't think it is fair, ध्रुवा जी. ऐसा नहीं कि आप ये नहीं कराओगे तो आपके घर में कुछ हो जाएगा. See, you see, there are so many fraud babas also roaming around, and there are millions of followers, right? Fraud gurus, fraud babas of every religion. I'm not talking about only one religion. The problem is that we are very vocal when we talk about our own religion, but we are not vocal when we see some other thing going on. So that is where my what my objection would be.
I agree with you, sir. The reason why I took this point was because the one thing what happens over here is doctors, let's keep them aside for a minute. See, most of the things what happen is our elders used to tell us, wake up before the sunrise and go around the Ashwatha tree, take some 5-6 pradakshinas, all your problems are over. They gave it a religious angle. Instead of that, if they did explain to us that the plant's photosynthesis happens in the morning, the best time for photosynthesis is 5:45 to 7 a.m. So if you rotate around the plant during that time, you get the highest input of the oxygen of that area at that particular given time. People would have understood the concepts much better. Now, the second hierarchy or the second wrong practice which our elders followed was the Dwajastambham of the temple. The Dwajastambham is the pillar which is in front of every temple, which has the saffron flag fluttering over it. It was a practice that if you build a building higher to this, God will get angry and your building will fall down. The basic common sense behind that was, if you see the way that religious places, not just the temples, mosques, churches are constructed, the first thing that is constructed over there inside is the place where the murti is kept or the sculpture is kept. This is called as the sacred scantorium. This is considered to be the, what is that? 1 second. The gravitational force, the central gravitational force of that area. And that Dwajastambham is the peak of it. So unless and until, if you don't pass that peak, you will not have any diseases related to anti-gravity, like piles, like hypertension, like spine disorders, etc. Now, the only city in India which has been following this for years together is Mysore. In Mysore, even to date, the most highest building is the Mysore Palace after the Chamundi Temple. Any other building which was coming up in Mysore till 2015 was a little lesser to the height of the palace or the Chamundi Betta, the Chamundi Temple. That's why people in Mysore are healthy, happy, and safe when compared to major of the crowd all over the globe. This is all mind manipulations and games that are being played. Now, if you notice very carefully, Sanjat sir and all the dignitaries on the dais, when initially in the first stages, my grandmother who is 97 years old and alive today is 100 times more active than my mother who was just 62.
Yes, yes.
This is because they cultivated their own food, they had their own food, and they had food which was free of pesticide. And now, getting back to your concept of this genetically manipulated or mutated food, Gregor Mendel introduced this in the year 1906 just because crops were dying. He just played with the genetic structure of it and modified the DNA. He did not do a total revamp of it. What is happening now is a chemical revamp of it. It is battery, sulfuric acid with the sulfurous bichloride that is used to make the fruits look fresh. which is actually nothing but a pesticide, a plant repellent. That's why mosquitoes or flies don't come near it. This is a deep subject of science, which I don't necessarily feel belong on this show. This will require a very different show, and if Sanjat sir is kind enough and gives me another time, we can take this topic up.
Yes, yes, we'll take this topic up in some other session. Not an issue at all. Uh, so over to Priyaji.
Priyanka
Can
ji,
you?
Priyanka ji.
Okay. Yes, sir. Sir, there was one more question which somebody has given me. That was, though you have mentioned it earlier, we were talking about oranges and all. So, sir, how can you explain that why it is being done? क्यों ये इस तरह के फ्रूट्स जो हैं वो लेकर आए जा रहे हैं इंडिया में? और जैसे अभी चाइना को भी इंडिया ही एक मार्केट दिखता है अपने प्रोडक्ट सेल करने के लिए, लेकिन सर मतलब अगर फ्रूट्स आप लेकर भी आ रहे हो तो फ्रूट्स बनेगा तो इंडिया में ही ना, और फिर यहाँ पे फैलेगा। हर फ्रूट तो हम इंपोर्ट नहीं कर सकते। और ये हो भी रहा है कि जैसे आपने बोला कि ड्रैगन फ्रूट है वो इंडिया में उगाना शुरू हो गया है, ऐसे और भी बहुत सारे फ्रूट्स हैं, जैसे स्ट्रॉबेरी भी अब इंडिया में उगाना शुरू हो गया है। तो इससे बाहर के कंट्रीज को क्या फायदा होगा? क्योंकि फ्रूट पैदा तो हमारे यहीं पे ही हो रहा है ना, तो इससे बाहर उन कंट्रीज को क्या फायदा है?
देखिए, उसमें दो तीन एंगल है। एक तो है जेनेटिकली मॉडिफाइड फूड कौन बना रहा है और किस लिए आ रहा है। अगर आप मुझे पूछोगे, द आइडिया बिहाइंड दैट इज वेरी वेरी फ्यूचरिस्टिक। द फार्मिंग जो हम लोग देख रहे हैं एज ऑफ टुडे के इंडिपेंडेंट फार्मिंग है, इफ यू आस्क मी, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी फिनिश्ड ऑफ। Independent farmers are going to be finished off by all means. You know who is the largest farmland owner in USA? That is Bill Gates, right? And he is not a fool. अगर वो जमीन खरीद कर रखा है, and he is the largest farmland owner in USA, and USA is such a large country, huge country, जहाँ के फार्मर्स ऐसे ही बहुत बड़े होते हैं। जैसे इंडिया में हम लोग सोचते हैं कि पंजाब में और हरियाणा में फार्मर्स बहुत बड़े होते हैं और बहुत अमीर होते हैं और बहुत उनके पास जमीन होती है, उसी तरह का यूएसए के फार्मर्स जो हैं, दे आर वेरी बिग फार्मर्स, दे प्ले इन मिलियंस, राइट? So, and in that, Bill Gates has purchased lots of land. Not only there, they are purchasing in Europe also. So, if you ask me, the larger goal, जो long term मेरे को दिख रहा है, जो होने वाला है, the independent farmers are going to be extinct, right? The corp, जैसे हम लोग का जैसे अभी for last 2 years lockdown हो रहा है, most of the wealth has been transferred from the independent shopkeepers, जो अपने नुक्कड़ के जो शॉपकीपर्स थे, छोटे मोटे थे, बहुत सारे बंद हो गए। अगर आप अपने टाउन में निकलोगे, बहुत सारे जो दुकान है, शोरूम है, जहाँ पर टूलेट का बोर्ड लगा हुआ है, दुकानें खाली हो गई हैं, दुकानें बंद हो रहे हैं। तो जो स्मॉल शॉपकीपर्स है, दे आर शटिंग देयर शॉप्स बिकॉज दे कैन नॉट सस्टेन इन दिस लॉकडाउन और जिस टाइप का माहौल है। कंजम्पशन कम नहीं हुआ है, कंजम्पशन हैज नॉट गॉन डाउन। What has happened is all this business has moved to your online business, which is controlled by 2 or 3 companies. Specifically, Amazon is one of the companies, which is one of the largest gainers in this entire lockdown period. He has billions and billions of dollars में उसका इंक्रीमेंट हुआ है इन बिजनेस एंड इन वैल्यू। सेम आपका जो है, आपका अगर आप देखोगे, ऑल द ऑनलाइन बिजनेसेस जो ऑनलाइन आरटी का जो रिसर्च का मार्केटिंग डेटा देते हैं, फेसबुक, देयर वैल्यू इंक्रीज्ड, गूगल्स वैल्यू इंक्रीज्ड। So basically what is happening is from small independent farmers, it is going to move to bigger corporations which are bigger than any other nation these days. These companies are bigger. So होगा क्या कि one genetically modified अगर रहेगा तो they have control over the production capacity. So please understand, अगर मैं genetically किसी seed को program कर सकता हूँ, then I can have a kill switch in that seed also. ठीक है, मैं सीड बनाया genetically modified and I make it susceptible to some particular agent or particular material in the future. ठीक है, तो मैं for example I prepare genetically modified seeds for oranges, for example I flood it in the market, मैं हर जगह एक्सपोर्ट किया, people ate it and people started growing it, but naturally the core was from the seed which I actually shared earlier. और मैं जब सीड दिया तब मैं प्रोग्राम किया था कि इसके लिए अगर मान लो कोई भी एक्स एजेंट है, if I distribute, if X agent comes into contact with this seed would not grow. it would fail, that crop would fail. तो मैं क्या करूंगा 10-15 साल के बाद जब normal natural grown oranges are out of the market, it is not grown, only the seed which I have given is grown, I can introduce that agent and fail entire crops of these things, so that the farmers independently who are doing these things can go out of the market. Then I come back with another seed, with another orange, and I take up the entire business. If you ask me, that is what is going to happen in another 5 years or 10 years down the line. There is no way out unless people wake up to this fact. Yes, Dhruvji.
Sanjat sir, you beautifully brought up the topic of charcoal and Colgate. When the British first came into our country, they introduced Colgate, laughing at us Indians that you are using charcoal to brush your teeth. Charcoal is poison for your teeth. You're using lime and salt to brush your teeth. It is poison for your teeth. 250 years down the lane, what is Colgate coming with? And the biggest irony of it is, Colgate belongs to a company by the name of Hindustan Lever, which is a UK-based company. And there is another company, Peter England, which is an Indian company having the name of a UK-based enterprise. This is mind manipulations and mind games that have been played on us.
Yes,
So true. Until
Hindustan liver does it in every country. Wherever they go, they make it that particular liver. They go to Pakistan, they will make it Pakistan Unilever. They go to Bangladesh, they make it Bangladesh Unilever. So that is the strategy that they play.
yes, they do that. Mitra ji, Vijay ji, you want to come and say something on these things?
Yeah, I have two questions, sir. When you're talking about this genetically modified seeds, right? And there's a new term also saying organic farming, and that's also now really बहुत selling word is like organic. Milk is organic. This is organic. So the organic and the genetically modified, do they both go hand on hand, or it's like two different sectors which they are just trying to fool us with that?
Right. See, the typical standard operating procedure for the cabal, the bigger companies which are there, is about creating a problem, providing a solution, and earning money.
Yeah.
Right. In any case, most of the Indian farming was organic earlier only. Okay. Organic means the naturally grown. I'm talking about naturally grown.
True.
उसपे क्या हुआ, they created that as a problem, they cited that as a problem. जैसे ध्रुव जी बोले कि आप कोयले से अगर दांत मांजते हो या फिर नमक से दांत मांजते हो तो खराब है आपके लिए, आपको फ्लोराइड वाला टूथपेस्ट चाहिए. तो बोले कि यार इसमें से आपका प्रोडक्शन बहुत कम हो रहा है, तो आप अगर 1 एकड़ में आप इतना खेती कर रहे हो तो आपको अगर 100 किलो मिल रहा है तो आप जो है इसको छोड़ो, आप खाद डालो, केमिकल खाद डालोगे तो आपको 100 किलो की जगह 1000 किलो निकलेंगे, तो आप जो है अमीर हो जाओगे. ठीक है. तो किसान लोग वही किए भैया, खाद डाले, 100 किलो की जगह 1000 किलो प्रोडक्शन हुआ, दे सोल्ड ऑफ. एंड अगर आप मार करोगे, द स्टेट ऑफ फार्मर हैज नॉट इंक्रीज्ड, राइट. फार्मर्स आर स्टिल नाउ वन ऑफ द पुअरेस्ट क्लास इन आवर सोसाइटी, even after 50-60 years of using khad, urea and everything, right. There might be some farmers who have grown very big through minimum support prices or whatever it is, government schemes. But if you see, usually the independent farmer in our village is similarly poor as it was poor in other times also. So the life condition has not improved. They have increased the production. उससे क्या हुआ कि the price has come down. Then after that they introduce a new product saying, the SAR जो खाद वाला है, the chemically produced is bad. So you produce organic, and organic अगर आप देखोगे, many companies, corporations are getting into organic farming. So independent farmer cannot match with these big corporations. So now again they are going back saying that organic farming corporation करेंगे. उसमें भी एक problem है. I'll give you an example of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is devastated now. I don't know if people are aware of this or not.
Completely.
Sri Lanka is completely devastated. You know what? People are getting jailed if they steal food. वहाँ पर food scarcity है. क्यों? क्योंकि WEF said कि WEF का direction था कि you go to organic, you shift to organic farming. So suddenly one fine day, Sri Lanka government decided they would switch on to organic farming. So they banned all chemical fertilizers. They went on for 100% organic, and it was made criminally liable if anyone indulges in the chemical fertilizer farming. Their economy collapsed. Still it is collapsed. They are into food scarcity. So now what will happen? Now our WEF uncle will come, Klaus Schwab uncle. Here I come with vegetable and fruits and everything and money, and he will get control over the market. So independent farmers, traders, everything will be pushed out. Big corporation will take their place. That is what is going to happen everywhere across unless people wake up. And if you ask me, that is the purpose of this genetically modified food coming
Modified.
in, imported food coming in, and that is what the future plan is. Priyanka ji, hope I answered that question. It took too long.
Yes, sir, definitely. Mitra ji, you were, I think you were about to say something. Then I'll carry
Just
on with question.
yeah, thank you, Priyanka ji. Thanks a lot. Sanjat sir, I have a question. Now, recently, sir, everywhere, see, I mean, if you take, I mean, 20 years back in Tamil Nadu, they just eat only rice and suji and idli dosa. You know that very well. And a lot of people they got diabetic. Suddenly, they promoted atta, chapatis. If you eat this chapati, your diabetic will get into control. Okay, and this was like it's a boom there in south side, especially in Tamil Nadu. Now it now if you go to any supermarket, we could see only eco soaps, eco milk, eco egg, everything. But how do people they just blindly buy whether it is really from eco based? How do we know, sir, it is from eco production?
See, coming about this atta and this chapati thing, I think there is slow release. They're calling it slow release. The glucose from atta would be released slowly, so that your see what happens in diabetes is your sugar is not processed by your body. That's what doctors say, right? What happens in diabetes is the sugar that you eat. When you eat, we have sugar in almost all the food, and that sugar should be processed in a normal manner. What happens in diabetes is that sugar is not synthesized, that sugar is not processed. That's why the sugar level goes high. That is where the danger comes in. That's what we are told. And this atta thing, what they're telling is this atta has sugar, but it would release sugar slowly into your bodies. It takes some time so that your body gets time to process it. That is how it is marketed. Now, if you ask me anything that is big corporations say or do eco or organic or gluten free or everything is primarily to sell their products and by showing that there is some issue. Even if there is no issue, there will be an issue. No one knows if it is good or bad. Would you believe that cigarette smoking was considered to be good for throat? In 1960s, 50s, the cigarette companies actually put up advertisements in American newspapers saying that if you smoke Camel brand of cigarette, your throat would be better. So right now we know, or we are told that cigarette is harmful for health. So we would never come to know of it. In every 10, 15 years, the trend changes. So again, they would go back to natural produced atta or chapati, natural produced idli or suji. So this cycle keeps on rotating, and wherever they don't find any problem, they create a problem that this is a problem.
Sanjay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, Dhruvaji.
Yeah, Sanjay, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, no, please, please.
When I first started smoking cigarettes, the cigarette packet used to come with a beautiful message below. Cigarette smoking is nutritious for health.
No, you are joking.
I'm seriously telling you the fact. It was Wills, the brand, the title sponsor of Indian cricket team as well. In the
Yeah.
96 World Cup till 99 World Cup, it was Wills. And it used to come with that tag below. Cigarette smoking is nutritious to health. I was hardly in my 8th or ninth standard. I forgot. 10th standard, I think. Yeah, ninth standard. My grandfather used to smoke. So when I used to get it for him, I used to read that line always. Cigarette smoking is nutritious for health. That actually pushed me towards cigarettes once I finished my PU.
So is it? I never remember seeing a line like that. But I think
Mm,
yes, it was positioned at one point of time. I don't know if it was 96 or 95, but I know 50s, 60s it was positioned as such in USA.
yeah.
So they do that. They do that.
There was a time when they wanted to raise an awareness saying smoking is good, so they used to give cigarette in every big actor's hand, and every advertisement, even ladies, gents, every big stars will be with a cigarette, with a cigarette packet and a cigarette in the hand. So that's how they really promoted the smoking, and then they could increase the sales. So
And
that was a big
yeah,
marketing
yeah. You know
agenda.
how all of us would agree that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, right?
True.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Dhruvaji, you would also agree breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Dhruvaji.
Dhruvaji, you're not audible, Dhruvaji.
ध्रुवा का नेट में कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ होगा.
Now
Like
it become brunch, sir.
that.
No
Now brunch
breakfast.
is also come in. Brunch on Sunday, brunch has come in. Why I raise this point is, see, uh, this thing has come from Kellogg's. That breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Kellogg's, the company, the cornflakes company,
Conflicts.
right? So I think, I don't know if your audience knows or not. So they had a huge crop of corns one time in
In
USA.
US. In US.
USA, right? They did not know what to do. The crop was so huge that there was no market, there was no demand. So Kellogg's company came to the same person, Sigmund Freud, the famous psychologist or psychiatrist, as they call him. He told him that let us make it something. What do we use corn for? For breakfast cereals. So let us push the propaganda by doctors that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. You should skip it. So what would happen is immediately the consumption grew because people thought if I skip breakfast, then it is the most important meal of the day. So consumption of Kellogg's cornflakes shot up. So it was all by our business decision. So till now we are finding that is in back of our mind subconsciously it is planted that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Yeah.
It started off like that.
So it is
Sir,
that
sing.
same like Complan. If you drink Complan, you will grow taller.
yeah, completely agree.
And Mother Horlicks. I never seen any ladies, drinking Mother Horlicks in other countries. Only from in our country, we drink Mother Horlicks, Horlicks for health and everything.
For
Complan for
children, another Horlicks. For mothers, another. For dog, they have 10 type of things. Shampoo, dog this, dog bone, dog ये हो जाएगा. अब कुत्ते का पार्लर भी अगर अभी खुल जाएगा जल्दी तो कोई उसमें बड़ी बात नहीं है.
And I have seen,
कुत्ते
मैं देखा हूँ कुत्तों का रेस्टोरेंट भी देखा हूँ मैं. That is dog
हाँ.
restaurants. I have seen that. The restaurants which are
So,
catering only
so
to dogs.
मित्रा जी, we need to be ready कि जब हम आईब्रो बनवाने जाएंगे तो हम कुत्ते को भी साथ में लेकर जाएंगे उसका आईब्रो बनवाने.
नहीं नहीं, आप शौक मत होना. आप शौक मत होना कि बाजू वाले चेयर में कुत्ते का आईब्रो हो रहा होगा और आपको बाजू में बिठाया होगा. चलिए बैठिए प्रिया जी, हम इसका खत्म करके आपके पास आते हैं करके. So
Okay.
like
Guys,
I
dignitaries
think
on the dais. I have a lockdown coming up in another 15 minutes, so I have to rush for my dinner. मैं अपना
Okay,
closing
please.
comments दे के I will take a leave because my co-host Priyanka ji is there, Mitra ji is there, Vijay ji is there, Sanjat sir is there. I will definitely join back after my dinner if the show is still going. But this is something dedicated to the Nightingale of India, Lata Mangeshkar ji.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Exactly.
She had beautifully explained it in such a way through a song that I forgot the lyrics actually, but let me put it in this way. अब जो आप गई तो पूरा बॉलीवुड गया. एक एहसास जो था हमारे दिल में आपके गानों से, वो एहसास आज थम गया. जहां भी हो देखते रहना, हमें आशीर्वाद देते रहना, फिर जन्म लेके जरूर आना, क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान क्या है ये दुनिया को आपने दिखाया. आपके गानों के वजह से ये बागड़ बिल्ले शेर बने. आपके गानों के वजह से ये बागड़ बिल्ले शेर बने. अब जब आप हो ही नहीं तो हम इनको क्यों चुने. जय हिंद.
जय हिंद ध्रुव जी. अमेजिंग.
Jai Hind, Dhruv ji.
जय हिंद
Jai
ध्रुव
Hind,
जी.
sir. Sir, I have one more question, sir.
Yes. The story is
completely-
controlled by Priyanka ji. So Priyanka ji is the host.
Priyanka ji with
No,
your
no,
permission.
no. Mitra ji, it's all up to
I know she's
all
very
of you.
sweet. Okay. Can I, Priyanka ji?
Oh,
No, I'm just kidding.
stage
Don't
is
say
yours.
it. Yeah. Sir, actually, they have controlled everything. No, I mean, if you say, I mean, you were saying about the agriculture, the farming industry, they have taken over, and soon everything will go off. And if you take media also, it has been controlled by them totally. So
Yes.
they are making this mind manipulation through media before, just 20 years ago, and all they started doing. Now the programs, movies from Bollywoods, all these things, they changed our generation, now, and still they are doing it. Now my question is, what about metaverse, sir? Professionally?
Yeah. See, metaverse, अगर आप मेरे को पूछोगे, metaverse is something which they're working on for
Mm-hmm.
future, keeping future in mind. ठीक
Yeah.
है. So initially it would be voluntary, people would jump in and try out the metaverse and everything. और उसके बाद फिर doctors would start prescribing metaverse. You spend 30 minutes in metaverse and your mental health would be good. That's what would be coming in, right? You आपका life में बहुत stress है, so we have devised a program. You go into metaverse and spend 30 minutes or 40 minutes, something like that, and you would be good. So that is why you keep on hearing about this mental health and all these things. All these movie stars also talking about mental health and all those things for last 4 5 years, right? पहले नहीं था. So we see all these movie stars talking about mental health. The problem is real. We should help them. We know this Deepika Padukone also talks about mental health, right? Always she's a brand ambassador of mental health. So I don't know her health is okay or not till now, but she always talks about it. So they are conditioning us. So I feel metaverse is going to be used forcefully on people after some time, right? So as Klaus Schwab said, you would own nothing and you would be happy, right?
Yeah.
That is what their plan is. You would own nothing and you'd be happy. You would not be owning any house. You would not be owning any car. You would not be owning your family. Now they are moving for children also. If you
Yes,
see
sir.
in Western world, especially in Europe and USA, for medication and all till now, they require their parents' permission. But right now they have changed those rules. Those kids don't need your permission to go out and get medicated. Right?
Oh,
Yes, state is also taking over. If you go and search on Google, they have changed. They are changing the rules. Even in India, also, I think I saw somewhere one rule they are proposing that for medication and all, they don't need parents' consent. So without parent, they can go in. So they are breaking the family system. That's what they're through all the tools. So metaverse is something that people would be hooked on to, and they will say you spend this time on metaverse. So people would be sedentary. We have seen this. There are many movies, right? There are many movies where people are watching video games or playing video games and they're oblivious of what is going on. That is what they want people to be sedentary and immobile. And metaverse is coming like that only. So you would not realize that you are in metaverse. So you would be sedentary. You cannot harm them.
okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Actually, like this during this time, lockdown time, we've been separated, no, with our neighbors and relatives. Just we have been separated alone. I mean, the family. Now, if they bring the metaverse with the kids and
Acha,
the
why were you
professionally, if
separated?
they are bringing, so
Why, why,
everyone will
why,
say,
were you,
sir,
why were you separated from your friends and family? Not only you, entire world. Why? Why was
yeah,
it?
yes, sir. That's
Why?
what you have to tell me, sir. Please.
Because of
They can
lockdown, right?
influence easily. It's
No,
easy to
no.
influence a single
I
brain rather than a
understand.
group of brain.
Because of the lockdown, right?
Mm.
Yes, sir.
And the
And
lockdown
no,
was bought by the COVID, and the COVID was given by them, right? So it's just like a
so
chain
I
of
don't talk about
events.
COVID, but lockdown was in
Yeah.
any
Yeah,
case a centralized thing, right? Which has come from WF and WH and all those people. So
Yes, sir.
chain of events.
they are actively working towards that. They are actively working towards that. So people getting addicted to video games and all, it was always there. But as you said, अगर ज़्यादा लोग if you are alone, what would you do? You go online, you do these things, you do those things. So that is what the plan is. हाँ
Yes, sir.
प्रियंका.
I mean, they are attacking from every direction, whatever they can, like a media, advertisement, social network, also like medical assistants, the doctors. If you go to doctor, you get their advice only what they want us to hear. यही तुम्हें सुनना है, यही तुम्हें बताना है, ताकि जिस तरफ से भी जाए, like ये क्या बोलते हैं, you I'm not getting the words now. गायों को चराते ना, I mean, like, okay, you have to, every guy has to go in
Hard.
one only herd. Yeah, you have to like push every, so that सब एक ही line में जाएंगे. That's how they're pushing us from every direction, so that we just walk on the path what they have laid for us.
Yes, yes, yes.
That's how I see it. Yeah.
Sir, my last question is, Mitra ji, you want to say something? Vijay ji?
No, no, no. Absolutely, I'm fine, Priyanka ji. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Priyanka ji. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, my last question is, I was going through an article, and now this is even mentioned in the Ministry of Ayush Mantralaya also, that lot of cancers and lot of diseases which are said to be very difficult can be cured easily by yoga and medicines and all. और मैंने एक आर्टिकल और पढ़ा था कि बहुत सारी जो मेडिकल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं वो कुछ ऐसी बीमारियां हैं जिनको वो बहुत एग्जैजरेट करके बड़ा बताते हैं। तो ये भी इसी गेम का पार्ट है, because introducing their medical system deeply into our roots, and we forget our own medical systems, वैसे भी भूल ही चुके हैं। तो इस पे आप थोड़ा सा बताइए सर।
देखिए, हाँ, सी ऑल दिस बिग फार्मा कंपनीज आर ओन्ड बाय बिग बिजनेसेस अगेन, एंड इट इज अ क्लियर कट प्लान। क्योंकि अगर अगर हम लोग देखेंगे, स्टिल देयर आर सम पीपल हु आर प्रैक्टिसिंग आयुर्वेदिक, एंड दैट इज व्हाई पतंजलि, I don't promote any corporate either with Patanjali or anything else. That is why Patanjali was such a big hit, because it would have given good results to many people, right? That is why they made it so popular. That is how that company grew so big, because actually it benefited people. It gave them results. So I would also agree to that Ayurveda as is a very is a science. It is not some quackery. What has happened is this westernized corporations, companies, and people have come in and they see if the Ayurveda survives, then their own Western medical system would not survive. Western medical system has given very good results. बट इसका मतलब ये नहीं था कि वो नहीं था तो हम लोग मर गए थे, राइट? हिंदुस्तान, इन इंडिया वाज स्टिल देयर, पीपल वर स्टिल लिविंग, पीपल वर स्टिल हेल्दी, एंड पीपल वर फॉलोइंग इल. दैट इज पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ लाइफ. इट इज नॉट दैट के वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन आने के बाद एवरीथिंग हैज गॉन गुड एंड नो वन इज डाइंग, और वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन आने से पहले सब लोग मर रहे थे. सो देयर हैज बीन सम गुड थिंग, देयर हैज बीन सम बैड थिंग्स. और वो लोग बोलते हैं कि द एवरेज लाइफ span of a person has increased due to modern medicine. So yeah, average लाइफ स्पैन तो पहले भी वैसे ही था. इन एनी केस पहले वॉर्स ज्यादा होते थे, सो मॉर्टेलिटी रेट वाज हाई. तो पहले सिस्टम अलग थे, तो मॉर्टेलिटी रेट वाज हाई. तो इट इज अ डिबेटेबल इशू कि एक्चुअली वेस्टर्न मेडिसिन हैज बेनिफिटेड मोर, और in some cases it has benefited very much, very large, to a large extent. But in some cases our traditional Ayurvedic system was far better than this modern medicine. That is why now Ayurvedic, as you said, they are patenting many things. हल्दी वो लोग पेटेंट कर रहे हैं, बासमती वो लोग पेटेंट करना चाहते हैं, दूध और दही वो लोग पेटेंट करना चाहते हैं, and they want to sell it as a medicine, as some kind of a therapy, by charging us hundreds of dollars, and people are purchasing it and getting benefit out of yoga also. After doing all this duplicate yoga also, they are getting benefit, right? There's a
Yeah.
thing called as placebo effect. So वो लोग डुप्लीकेट योगा वहां पर बेचते हैं वेस्टर्न सिविलाइजेशन में. दे सेल
दैट
डुप्लीकेट
पावर योगा सर, पावर योगा।
Power yoga.
power yoga, beer yoga. They have all kinds of yoga there, right? So you pick a name and they have the kind of yoga, that the dog yoga and the pig yoga. They have named whatever what they want. They have named it. People pay money, go there, and they get better also, because there is a thing called as a placebo effect. So placebo effect is, although in placebo effect, what happens is the doctors give out medicine to some people and don't give medicine, but they give some other thing which is not medicine. The people who are getting these placebo tablets, which is not a medicine, they also get well, right? So ये help करता है बहुत सारी चीज में. ये विजय जी,
Can I
I
say?
think you are trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can
yeah.
I say something, sir, about especially about this power yoga and Ayurvedic and normal this medicine? You know, the this one. We are always like in a hurry. We want everything instant, and all these bad things are instant. They can give you instant results, but the good things, whatever you take, it takes time to give you a good effect without any side effect, and people don't have time to wait for that one. If you go for an Ayurvedic, if you go for an yoga, you have to do yoga or this thing at least for certain amount of time or day until you can see the effect. अगर आप एक दवाई ले लोगे 5 मिनट में you can cure your headache, so they want that instant and they always go for this kind of medicines. Same with the yoga and the food also. Good food takes time to give you results, and instant foods, like, yeah, that's why that might be also one another reason why people and everyone is going towards that direction.
नहीं, वो तो जाएंगे. See, and that there are benefits. See, there are surgeries and everything which has gone from India actually, which is developed by, again, reinvented by them. But surgeries are saving many lives. The medicines are also saving many lives. It's not that Western medicine is bad. What is bad is actually discounting our own Ayurveda.
Yeah.
That is bad. What has happened is there are vested interest um, who are benefiting. So it's just like I bring in some construction worker to build something in my house, and he builds a very good kitchen. But by the time he builds a kitchen, what he does is he spoils my drawing room, saying that drawing room is not needed. See, kitchen is also required, drawing room is also required. So I think that is where it has come in, because they had those vested interests. So they have bad mouth yoga, this yoga and Ayurveda, everything too much. So both have their own good, and they both have their own shortcomings also.
Yeah.
When you're talking about yoga, sir, in even Sweden, we have like hot yoga.
Yeah, I
Very
know,
soon, I think.
and
Huh?
I'm aware. It will be
Yeah.
some skimpily clad lady doing some postures, and people going there and hugging, and they think that they are made attractive by doing this hot yogas and all those things. So all a
That
fad, all a fad.
that yoga, sir, I don't know, maybe you have heard that it's called Bikram yoga, something that hot yoga doing. And the guy from an Indian origin guy, he was in US, and he started that yoga, and this kind of a hot yoga, and afterwards he ended up in such a huge controversy. This guy, all these people, we know that these people are not the right people, but afterwards this became a very huge business, this Bikram yoga, this hot yoga.
Okay,
He became very famous, but
yeah, they
he
become
was
famous.
he was also not that good guy also. So a lot of controversy, especially with how these gurus and everything,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
end up doing what they do. So it
yeah,
became a very, yeah, now I don't know exactly. I'm not following that one, but at one point he was really in a big trouble. with
yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah,
yes,
one piece of advice to the audience for listening: don't watch Bollywood movies, and you would be actually better off. Bollywood
so
movies
true,
condition in a bad manner, very bad manner. So
so
Great,
true.
sir. Great, sir. That's the
Exactly.
like ultimate information what you gave and all. Super, sir.
no, the
Thanks a lot.
condition, yeah, the
The
condition such
word what you
condition.
said, sir, condition, that
Yeah,
people have to understand what is condition. Dhire dhire, slowly slowly, you will start thinking what they want us to think.
right.
That
What
is
is
what
good and what
conditioning.
is bad?
Yeah,
What is good and what is
yeah,
bad is defined by them. Like Pinkaji was saying on that session, that in one of this famous movie Pushpa, the bad guy is made to be looking as good. So you do
Mm,
crimes, you do all these things, and you are the hero.
yeah.
mm.
So usually it is the other way around. Usually society actually praises them who are doing good, and scores them who are doing bad. But right now what they're doing is they're reversing it, saying that the bad guy is good, the good guy is a coward guy. So better be a bad guy. So everyone will try to become a bad guy. It plays in mind.
Exactly, sir. If any small kids watch the movie, he doesn't want to become police, because if you become a police, he will come and kill you.
Right,
What the message you're giving to the kids?
right, exam right. I think Priyanka's internet
I
actually
think
short off.
Yeah.
exactly, sir. Exactly, sir. It was a
So now
beautiful
it's
session.
your show, sir. One by one, let's do it, and then you will leave. No, but
No, I
yeah,
think she
I
would
mean,
come back. She would be
I
trying
just
to
I
log
just
in.
came in to listen to you, sir. To be honest, I mean, I just
Thank
want
you
to
so
be
much.
in the
Thank
show
you
and
so much.
listen to you and Dhruji. So it was, again, it's always a pleasure to just share the place with you. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much.
much, sir. Thanks a
Thank you
lot.
so much, Mr. Raji.
Jai
Yes,
Hind
sir.
and
Bye
Jai
bye.
Jagannath, sir.
Vanakkam. And thank
Vanakkam.
you,
Vanakkam, sir.
Dhruvaji, for bringing us together.
Yeah,
Thank you, Priyanka ji, for conducting. I don't know if you will be coming back or not. I don't know if your internet is working or not. So let us call it a day. Today it is more than 1 hour.
yeah.
So we'll be back. Thank you so much.
Sir,
Thank you,
you should do
Dhruv
often in Hindi also, sir. It will reach more
Hindi.
people.
Yeah.
I will do in Hindi. Actually, Vijay can also join me. Vijay
We can
speaks
do
very
in
good
Yeah,
Hindi
Hindi.
itself.
Vijay can
Yeah,
join me.
exactly. So
yeah.
it will reach more people. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you
Jai
Thank
so
you,
much.
Jagannath,
Dhruji,
sir.
and
Vanakkam.
thank you, Sanjat sir. Thank you. Jai
Thank you,
Jagannath.
Priyanka ji. Thank you, Dhruv ji.